Hello Albert. Thank you for coming at such short notice.
Not a problem, Mohan. I enjoy our chats. What is it I can do for you?
When we first spoke, you mentioned sound money in relation to the world being in debt. Can you explain a bit deeper around that, please?
It would be my pleasure. First, you must understand how money came into existence during the Piscean Age.
Go on.
Gold was always seen as a rare and valuable item. Gold predates money, and in fact many modern economists argue that gold is the only real money there is.
Okay, go on.
During this time, goldsmiths would store people's gold to keep it safe. They would give people a receipt so people could reclaim their gold at a later point.
Forgive my ignorance, but I fail to see what this is to do with sound money.
I will explain further. Those people who had gold stored had plenty of receipts. As gold was often used for trading, they actually found that using the receipts at places such as the local market was far easier than using gold itself. Although valuable and in demand, it was not practical to carry around large quantities of gold.
I see. So if I have got this right, people starting to use these paper receipts was the origination of money. Or cash.
Exactly. Yes, people found it far easier to use the receipts. And yes, this was the birth of money. And the money was sound because it was backed by gold.
I see. You explained this very well, Albert, thank you. What happened next?
Well, the goldsmith realized he was onto something here. He began to lend out receipts backed against gold that he owned to people. In this practice, he charged the person he was lending a percentage, very much akin to modern-day interest charges. This became a highly lucrative venture for the goldsmith.
Yes, this is the beginning of usury. From what I understand, this practice can lead to acquiring great wealth through very little work.
Indeed, Mohan, you are correct. However, something far worse happened just after this practice began.
I'm intrigued. Please continue.
Without permission, the goldsmith began to lend receipts that were backed by other people's gold.
Inconceivable.
That was only the start. Realizing this venture was working, and no one was noticing, he then began to lend receipts that weren't even backed by gold. Effectively, he just started printing receipts.
How insidious. Well, I am beginning to see why sound money was so important.
Indeed. This practice of lending, however, soon came to a close, as people got wise to what the goldsmith was up to confronted him. Either that or too many people came to withdraw their gold, which he did not have in deposit due to his nefarious activities.
But Albert, how does all this relate to the modern day?
Well, now the banking system operates under something known as a fractional reserve system.
And what does this mean?
There are three parts to it, Mohan. First part is that there is no sound money anymore. No, money is backed by gold.
Okay.
Second is that banks all have to have a reserve amount kept as deposit to ensure that they are not at risk. The reserve amount is then fractionalized into how much a bank can lend.
I'm not sure that I understand.
Let me use an example. If a bank is operating on a 20-to-1 reserve ratio, and the bank has £10,000 in reserve, that same bank can lend out up to 20 times that amount. So up to £200,000.
That sounds rather insane.
It is insane. It is also mathematically illogical and impractical. Such a system cannot sustain for an infinite amount of time. It is to collapse at some time, which is what is transpiring now on Earth. Not only is the money not sound, it loses value every time more money is created.
I see. You said there were 3 points to consider.
Yes, you are correct. The third point is that now it is common practice for a bank to not have to hold deposits at all. The bank's loans are classed as deposits.
You have me there, Albert, please explain.
If a bank is operating on a 20-to-1 reserve ratio, it only needs to have £10,000 in loans to create £200,000 in new loans.
Is this an episode of the X-Files?
No, this is the banking system on planet Earth today.
Thank you for explaining this to me. At some point I would like to quiz you on how money is created.
Anytime you like, Mohan. I too would like to speak to you further on the Occupy Wall Street scenario. I am enjoying our chats, and watching what is happening on planet Earth.
Yes, me too. I look forward to our next conversation. Blessings to you, Albert. See you soon.
And to you. Speak to you soon.